Hey, Warpugs. So today we're going to be checking out a request from the absolutely loyal Space Marine. Absolutely no hint of treachery whatsoever involved in this guy whatsoever. None. Period. This is which Xenos does the Imperium tolerate by Majorkill. Where's Asmodai? In any case, this is Majorkill. It's going to be informative. It's going to be correct. I'm going to agree with just about everything that he says. Me and Majorkill, our thoughts align on this kind of stuff. There are not many. In fact, the operative word is very few. In fact, the operative word is next to zero. I'm not even sure if in the lore the Jacaro are tolerated anymore. But let's see what he has to say. I'm probably wrong about this. Let's get into it.
G'day guys and gal.
Hey.
We all know that the Imperium is incredibly racist and xenophobic.
True.
Unlike our world, however, they have a pretty bloody excuse for being like that.
True.
Millennium of oppression and death at the hands of aliens during the Age of Strife, combined with the fact that orcs, Dark Elder, and Tyranids are a thing, does make being an overt racist in Warhammer a bit of a vibe. I mean, there's a ton of in-law Imperial quotes like, hate the Xenos like you'd hate the infidel. Do not ask why kill the alien, ask why not. And he who allows the alien to live shares its crime of existence. The point I'm trying to make is that there seems to be a very low bar of tolerance for these non-human organisms.
True.
So it might come as quite a shocker that the Imperium still tolerates, shelters, and even relies on various Xenos. Many of these aliens have since perished because all it takes is one uppity, bigoted Inquisitor with a big red button to make them go kaput, but there is still a number that exists today. Also, shout out to Ryan for winning the Schmalgen car canvas auction, which is now ended. I'm going to leave up the option to buy the smaller canvas version for another week, so if you want to pick that up before it's gone forever, then now's your chance.
Very nice.
All proceeds are going to go to the original artist Nicholas. Another fun fact, my birthday is in 4 days. 14th of September, which, yes, I know it means I am the spawn of a drunken New Year's evening. Despite
Well, it's kind of surprising, but me and him are 15 days apart.
this being the second birthday in a row that I'll spend in lockdown, we can still have a bit of fun. So I'll be doing a birthday stream, where I'll be playing the unreleased pre-alpha of the upcoming Warhammer Fantasy Bannerlord mod, which looks incredible. The Mad Lads even figured out how to add magic to the game. But yeah, beers, birthday, and Bannerlord. Seems like a pretty fucking sweet way to turn 23. Today we'll talk about each of the Xeno factions that have been aligned with the Imperium at some point, focusing on their interaction with mankind, and why the usually hateful humanity tolerated them. We'll also include species that are extinct or no longer friends with the Imperium, but we won't be including abhumans such as squats or those weird furry people that should just not exist in the slightest. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
The first Xeno that the Imperium
Jacaro.
is chill with, mainly because they're just so damn cute, is the Jacaro, who are these genius orangutans that can forge master-crafted weapons from very little material. Imagine Tony Stark in a cave full of scraps, except that
And an orangutan.
he's a hairy ginger and was dropped as a child. They cannot speak and do not seemingly respond to direct orders. They just kind of suss out the situation and will make weapons and gadgets as needed. It's not uncommon to find a Jacaro in an Inquisitor's retinue. They'll be constantly tinkering with shit. Sometimes they'll modify some armor to make it look cooler, and then sometimes they'll modify a ring to make it capable of firing mini nukes. You really just don't know what you're going to get with these primates. As they were created by the Old Ones during the War in Heaven as a sort of loyal field mechanic, they are engineered to be loyal to creations of the Old Ones. As humanity is a spawn of the Old Ones, but Majorkill, that's heresy! Fuck off, Dimmy! Your existence is heresy. As humanity is a spawn of the Old Ones, it makes sense that the Jacaro would be pretty chill about lending us a helping hand here and there.
And if you didn't know that, there you are. The War in Heaven went on for a very long time. So long that the Old Ones were planning for this date and time to be still fighting that war.
I cannot emphasize enough how awesome the technology that these guys can create is. The starships, weaponry, and artifacts they can create on the fly often genuinely shit on the best stuff the Elder or even the Necrons have. Probably easy to see why the Imperium is so willing to tolerate them. The only
True.
reason why they only seem to be hanging out with the Inquisitors is the fact that they're incredibly difficult to capture, even more difficult to contain, and almost impossible to enlist the direct aid of. Like, it's common for them to pop in, modify your shit for a laugh, then leave, but to actually have them follow you and serve you out of their own free will is not common at all. This next Xeno is incredibly niche and has barely been mentioned at all in the lore, which is a fucking good thing I'm here then, eh? The Biovore. This Xeno race used to be used as sex slaves or some shit by the Uvrath, who were similar to those orb things from Astartes. Due to their years of having their brains controlled and kind of damaged by their oppressive Xeno overlords, by the time mankind clapped most of the Uvrath's cheeks and inadvertently liberated the Biovore were little more than sentient cows. Now, we do give a lot of shit to the Inquisition for being massive dicks, but credit where credit is due. They saw the Biovores and they were like, give me that space bovine titty milk, and they declared the Biovores as a protected species. In the current setting, the Biovores work as mercenaries for the Imperium around the Calixis sector. By mercenary, I basically mean that they just let guardsmen suckle in their teats and in return they get to live. This next Xeno will look familiar. No, that is not a fucking Jawa from Star Wars.
The Watcher.
That is a Watcher in the Dark. Out of all the Xenos that work with the Imperium, these guys are by far...
But are they really working with the Imperium, and is the Imperium more or less aware of their presence? I know the Dark Angels know about them, but...
are the most powerful and unsettling. They seem to have some kind of fourth dimensional perspective of the universe, and they're able to experience the past, present, and future simultaneously. Like, they straight up knew about the Horus Heresy in detail thousands of years before it would occur, giving them foresight well beyond that of even the Emperor. If anything, it kind of proves my point that the Line and the Dark Angels are the best legion in the galaxy if they're the ones who have been exclusively guided by some omnipresent cloaked looking gods. When the Lion was around, these dudes would tell him about shit going down on Caliban and that he should sort it out, and they often hang out with other important Dark Angels in the current setting. When the Changeling, one of the most powerful demons in existence, was running through the rock on a quest to completely fuck over the Dark Angels, he stopped and completely shat himself when he saw a Watcher in the dark.
Right.
The scene was actually quite chilling. To the demon, the Watcher appeared like some kind of void, like a blank, but Watchers aren't blanks as they can communicate psychically. Either way, the Changeling ran in the other direction and they did not look back. It was the...
I'm wondering if the Watchers are actually the last old ones that we just don't know as the old ones.
Watchers who put the Lion into a coma, and it'll be the Watchers who wake him up when the time is right. Moral of the story is don't fuck with the Watchers. They've been here since the dawn of time, and probably aren't even from this universe. The Biovore aren't the only Xeno mercenary the Imperium employs. They also have the Crude. Unlike the lactating appeal of the Biovores, the
Now, you see, I did not know this. This is heresy.
Crude are powerful warriors, bigger, faster, and stronger than humans. They can also consume flesh to harvest the DNA within. If enough DNA is consumed from enough powerful foes, a Crude's physical form will evolve into something more powerful. If a Crude eats enough orcs, they'll become Larry Wheels. If they eat enough flying creatures, they'll grow wings. And if they eat enough priests, they'll start molesting children. The Crude are happy to be mercenaries as it means they get to see more of the galaxy, hence get to feast on a wider variety of species.
See, I never really heard about this. I'm wondering why. Now, I do know that Crude have mercenaries, don't get me wrong. I know the Tau employ them. I did not know the Imperium employs them. That is a new one for me. That is a completely new one for me. I need to update my own lore.
Usually they work with the Tau, as the Tau are quite happy to hang out with other Xenos, but they won't turn down an offer from the Imperium. I used to think the Crude were like kinda cute and funny, but then I read a short story about them ambushing some Eldar Rangers, and holy fuck, it was horrifying. Some Eldar Ranger chick watches as her sister is violently consumed and eaten alive before she too is torn to shreds. Don't fuck with the Crude. Another Xeno mercenary that the Imperium do work with, but only on rare occasions, are the Demigod, who was supposed to replace the Squats, but then the Squats remain canon, so the Demigod had to kind of become their own thing. Now they just look like the satanic spawn of a midget and a smurf. The Demiurge are a spacefaring race who prefer trading goods over shooting laser beams. Pew. In saying that though, they can make some pretty fucking nifty pew-pew guns, and they were the ones who taught the Tau how to make their own overpowered iron cannon.
Thanks for that, by the way.
They will almost never be the aggressor, but if you shoot them, they will shoot you back a lot harder. However, combat between mankind and these, little men is super rare, as the Demiurge will only enter Imperial space if they've been invited in. Very respectful chaps. The Imperium has time and time again teamed up with most of the other non-Tyranid or demonic races in the galaxy.
True.
The Eldar and the Imperium have worked together numerous times, even before Gilliman started destroying Yvrane's Gash. The Crawford Kaola is given an Imperial escort whenever it needs to pass through Imperial space, and Crawford Ulthwé and the Navigator House Belisarius have a close alliance with each other. Like Ulthwé once saved Belisarius from annihilation, and in return, Belisarius gave Ulthwé 7 coins. When a coin is redeemed, Belisarius must commit all of their resources and power to aid Ulthwé with whatever they need. The Harlequins have also worked with and even allowed certain Inquisitors to access the Black Library, which is probably the greatest honor that an Eldar can bestow upon another, especially since most Eldar aren't even allowed near the Black Library at all.
Right.
Funnily enough, the Imperium and the Orcs have teamed up on numerous occasions. Whenever both sides are fighting and the Tyranids rock up, they'll generally work together to squash some bugs. However, often once the Nids are gone, they'll just resume their battle. In saying that though, there is an Orc clan, the Blood Axes, who offer their strength as mercenaries for hire.
They do
Hence, when
this.
times are tough, it's not uncommon for the Imperium to employ Orc mercenaries to get the job done. It's also implied that when the Great Rift opened and fucking ruined everything, the Orcs and humans on Armageddon signed a truce so they could deal with the random fuck-huge demonic invasion that had come to ruin their fun. Maybe even more shocking is that the Imperium has worked with the Necrons a couple times.
The one that irritated the hell out of me was the first time it ever happened in canon, where the Blood Angels and the Necrons pretty much teamed up, and that was so stupid.
First instance was the Blood Angels fighting alongside the Silent King to wipe out some Tyranids. However, it goes deeper. Trazyn the Infinite has unintentionally saved countless human lives on numerous occasions.
Unintentionally is the key word.
One time the Orcs attacked a human world that held a sacred Necron tomb on it that Trazyn wanted to save, so he deployed his army and he helped defeat the Orcs, hence saving the humans. In return, the humans of that world erected a statue in his honor, as well as created stained glass windows depicting him. In a similar vein, Trazyn tried to stop the fall of Cadia by unleashing a fuckload of his Imperial Pokemon. To help mankind, he unleashed a ton of pre-heresy space marines, as well as a custodian that he had in one of his collections. He also helped Core with activating the Necron pylons, so Necron and Imperial cooperation is a big thing, even if it is extremely heretical. And yes, the Imperium has worked with the Tau. Even though the two factions are currently in a bit of a cold war at the moment, they both understand that neither of them are the true evil in the galaxy. They will happily team up whenever Tyranids are involved, and various members of the Inquisition are mates with some of the Tau. Sure, it might just be because of Tau propaganda, but friendships can
a little bit,
be born out of any situation. Oh yeah, and I guess the Captain General of the Custodes fucked the ever-living shit out of Commander Shadowsun, which technically counts as working together. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 per
This is heresy. This is absolutely heresy.
month give you access to a boatload of Battle Mace 40 million hentai. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more Xeno jerking content.
Oh my god. Alright guys, so do not fall for the Tau propaganda. Do not fall for this. They are not waiting for you. They don't like you. They really don't. No. Just no. So I was thinking this was going to be more about more along the lines of races that the Imperium works with and is not hostile with. In that case, of course, the Jacaro would be it. I did not know about the Cow people. Not at all. As far as the rest, though, Crude, I did not know where they work with the Imperium. I have not read where that happened, but at the same time, it absolutely makes sense. It absolutely makes sense because the Crude are mercenaries. The Orcs, I know the Imperium has employed as, but I was thinking more along the lines of they're just not hostile with each other. In which case, it would be just the Jacaro and that other species. And of course, the Watchers, but only the Dark Angels know about them. And I still think there's something about the Watchers that we just don't know. And I'm thinking that they're the remnants of the old ones. But if that's the case, why were they on the Rock of all places? In any case, guys, Majorkill's link's going to be in the description down below right next to my own, including my Patreon, everything else like that. I'm closing in on 15,000 subscribers, guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Whew.